U.S. Bank Voyager. Fuel, maintenance, and more. Managing fleet expenses and payments can be a major challenge, especially without the right solutions. The U.S. Bank Voyager Fleet Program offers businesses a single-source solution to help manage and control fleet fuel and maintenance costs.
Hello and welcome to the State of the Fleet Industry, a video series produced by Automotive Fleet magazine. I'm Mike Antich, editor of Automotive Fleet, and today I'd like to examine the top 15 trends currently impacting the commercial fleet market in calendar year 2023. And this report is designed to provide a broad overview of the issues impacting today's commercial fleet managers, and in subsequent episodes, I'll examine each of these trends individually. And I'll do so in more detail with an in-depth assessment of the factors that are creating these market conditions and provide a forecast of what we can expect in the coming months. So with this as an introduction, let's look at the big picture, namely, what are the major trends impacting today's commercial fleet market? Probably the top trend impacting fleet managers is that there continues to be ongoing sourcing constraints to acquire replacement vehicles that are being amplified by logistic delays throughout the entire order-to-delivery process. And while there's been improvements, every fleet manager I talk with says that they're continuing to experience constraints in sourcing replacement vehicles, primarily due to the fleet ordering allocation systems adopted by most OEMs that limits the number of new vehicles that they can order. And these allocations invariably are less than what a fleet manager needs in order to maintain their traditional vehicle replacement schedule. And if a vehicle is involved in a crash or there are unexpected new hires needing company vehicles, there continues to be difficulty in buying these emergency replacement vehicles out of dealer stock. Fleet managers tell me that dealers seem to give preference to retail sales over fleet since retail sales generate higher margins. And if they do sell the fleet, they're doing so at MSRP, and there continues to be market price adjustments beyond MSRP. In addition to the new vehicle sourcing constraints, there are increasing delays revolving around the logistics of moving vehicles from a factory to dealer, or at the end of their service life, moving vehicles to auctions for remarketing. A second trend, or perhaps better phrased as a challenge, has been the increase in order-to-delivery times. And I've been tracking order-to-delivery times for the commercial fleet industry for almost 30 years now, and there has been always complaints about long order-to-delivery times. While order-to-delivery times have improved recently, especially when compared to the dismal 2021 and 2022 model years, today's order-to-delivery times continue to be longer than historical norms, namely those that occurred pre-COVID. While there have been improvements in order-to-delivery time, I still hear stories about fleet managers saying that even though their fleet orders were accepted by an OEM, they were still canceled months later when it's too late to source from another OEM. Today, many of the factors impacting order-to-delivery times are similar to those that we experienced pre-COVID. So, for instance, a perennial issue causing order-to-delivery times was the shortage of rail cars. And these rail car shortages continue today, especially for units that are manufactured in Mexico to be exported to the US. Sometimes no one seems to know why a particular fleet orders are delayed. I mean, these orders are stuck in a limbo status where fleet managers have difficulty ascertaining actual delivery dates. And these delays have a real dollar and cents impact on fleets, especially when the vehicle delivery does not arrive when needed, and employees must be put in long-term rental vehicles until it does arrive. Third, the average age of fleet vehicles is increasing. The limited availability of replacement vehicles has forced fleets to extend the service lives of those vehicles currently in service. And this has resulted in fleet managers being forced to operate older vehicles in a high mileage fleet environment, resulting in the inevitable uptick in unscheduled maintenance. Fourth, over the past several model years, there's emerged an inconsistency in the makes and models of vehicles in fleet operation for single companies. This difficulty in sourcing replacement vehicles has caused fleet managers to use multiple OEMs out of necessity or to compromise and settle for vehicles that may not be their first choice, but which is a secondary choice to fulfill the fleet application. Altogether, this creates complexity in vehicle maintenance schedules due to the diversity of models in operation. Fifth, there continues to be limited alternatives in the compact van market. And it's not that fleet applications in this area have diminished. In fact, the need for compact vans in the commercial fleet market continues to be strong. The problem is the lost production capacity as some major OEMs have exited this vehicle segment. Sixth, some fleet managers complain of limited or no allocation for hybrid vehicles for fleet ordering. These fleet managers say that hybrid availability is mostly being directed to the retail market, all at the expense of fleet buyers. Seventh, business activity remains strong at many vocational truck companies, causing end-user demand for medium and heavy-duty product to remain high. In certain market segments, end-user demand is actually outpacing chassis production for some models. Eighth, inflationary pressures and higher interest rates are putting upward pressure on total fleet costs, such as fleet acquisition expenses that are aggravated by lower or no fleet incentives, higher repair rates, higher labor rates, and the ongoing price increase of replacement parts. Ninth, fleet costs are increasing across the board, and there is greater pressure by management on fleet managers to control these higher fleet costs, which is easier said than done. In the final analysis, total cost of ownership, or TCO, is trending upward due to higher base prices, higher interest rates, and the softening resale values. 10th, the transition to an electrified fleet has been harder than anticipated. The transition to an EV fleet has created pain points for some fleet managers, primarily due to the higher vehicle acquisition costs, limited EV models capable of meeting specific fleet applications, and inadequate charging infrastructure to accommodate a nationally dispersed fleet. And the reality is that the infrastructure for EV charging continues to be inadequate in non-urban areas, which tend to have higher mileage fleet applications. 11th, there is an ongoing shortage of skilled workers. There continues to be a shortage of qualified technicians to repair fleet vehicles. For service fleets, there continues to be difficulty in recruiting and retaining drivers, and this will continue, and it has been continuing now for decades. 12th, most vehicle transport companies are having difficulty in recruiting and retaining drivers, which contributes to longer order to delivery times to deliver fleet vehicles. This shortage of drivers extends throughout the economy. 13th, there continues to be sporadic delays during the upfitting process. Upfitters, such as other manufacturing companies, are experiencing difficulties in recruiting qualified workers, especially those who have specific skill sets, such as welders. Also, the ongoing parts shortage have impacted the upfitting process by slowing production when there are shipping delays. 14, there continues to be delays in the license and title process at DMVs. The source of many of these delays go back to the closure of DMVs during the start of the COVID pandemic. DMVs have been slow to recover, and many fleet managers still complain about delays in getting their vehicles licensed and titled. And what complicates this is that fewer dealers now are offering title and registration services for new vehicle deliveries. Lastly, trend number 15. There will be more tech-driven change impacting the fleet market that will go beyond what we've experienced in the past. On the horizon, I foresee an acceleration of change, fundamental change, in the fleet market driven by technology, in particular artificial intelligence, or AI, which most likely will occur faster than we think. And I believe AI will become a mainstream tool in fleet management and revolutionize our business. So with this as my final observation, I'd like to conclude my State of the Fleet Industry presentation for the week of August 14, 2023, and I'd like to thank you for watching.